All good? Cool. Welcome along, everybody. My name's Brendan Quill. I'm the licensed auctioneer here at Colliers International, and you're currently sitting in our head office here at 10 Ethel Street here in Queenstown. It is just past the hour of midday, and for those of you that are streaming in from around the world or other parts of the country, hello to you all, and we trust that you can hear us. And I'll give you a weather report. It's a low cloud. We've had overnight snow. The ski fields are looking great, and the town absolutely pumping full of visitors to the destination. That's just for the camera. Camera one, thanks. I feel like Hudson and Halls. Folks, what I'll do today is I'm going to work off the document that has been prepared here at 38B Boys Crescent. I'm going to start from the top of the page and I'll work my way down to the bottom of the page. And that document looks like this, which is the particulars of sale for auction here within New Zealand, starting from the top and reading to the bottom. If you have any questions at any given point throughout this document or what I'm going to discuss in the particulars of sale, my conduct of auction, how I intend to go about the auction today, please just put your hand up and ask the question. We do it most days or every week we'd have an auction or thereabouts. We're familiar, so if you're not, please feel free just to ask the question. Thank you. Now, can everybody hear me okay? Just give us a nod, please. Yep, we're all good. Hear me okay? That's good. I've only had one time where someone hasn't heard me that well, and I ended up shouting. People, here we go. Just past the hour of midday now as the bells are chiming. It's been brought to you today on behalf of myself and Raylene McQueen as the listing agents on behalf of the estate of the Hoogfleet family. And we have a probate through for the owners of the said property now to sign the documentation in accordance with New Zealand law under the Land Information New Zealand Act. So people, very interesting. The vendor is not registered for GST. The particulars of the property are as follows: that it is a stratum in freehold estate, noted as Unit B and Accessory Unit B1 and B2 with a deposited plan of 20891. The deposited plan, as I've just said, the unique identifier OT12C43, of which that describes 38B Boys Crescent, Frankton, here in the Queenstown Lakes District. I now move down to the chattels of the said property. You'll note that the stove, fixed floor coverings, blinds, curtains, the light fittings, the dishwasher, the heated towel rail, the fridge, freezer, and also 2 heat pumps, to which I've added into the chattels here 2 times heat pumps. The property is possession date has been set at Friday the 7th of August 2020. Unless you've made other arrangements, those arrangements have been agreed to by the estate. An interest rate for late settlement has been set at 14%. Very interesting, people. I'll now go into my conduct of auction. I'm heavily governed by a law in New Zealand here, both with the Real Estate Institute of New Zealand and also the Real Estate Agents Act, which was set up in 2008 as a consumer type policy to put into place for people buying and selling real estate here in New Zealand. So I'm heavily governed. Sue Charlesworth will be taking notes of everything that's been done here today, and we are recording it also. So very good. I'll now go through what I would classify as my conduct of auction. People, I can tell you that I've just had a chat with the members on behalf of the estate, and a reserve price has been set. I can tell you that the highest bidder here today, over and above that reserve price or around that reserve price, will be known as the purchaser. I'll nominate the sums that we move around in today, but if you want to tongue tie and twist me up, you're more than welcome. I'll certainly have a go. Now, I may refuse a bid at any time if I deem that not in the best interest of the vendors or, in this case, the property. People, there's a number of agents now, and I have the paperwork, necessary paperwork for people on the floor now to be bidding on behalf of the people that you see in the floor. I believe we have 2 registered bidders on the telephone. Or, not you, understood. Thank you, Richie, you're on the telephone. So people, when there's telephone bidders, I can't see the whites of their eyes. So if you just can give me a little bit of time, you'll hear them talking. It gets a bit busy. No one said an auction's got to be quiet. People, very interesting. I've spoken with the said estate, and they've given me what's called the right on their behalf to bid on the estate's behalf. And that's quite clearly a vendor bid, just for me to get things going if I deem it necessary. But make it quite clear, Queenstown, there's one thing I will not do, is I will bid beyond the reserve price. Clear? Very interesting, the old auctioneer's hammer. We had it yesterday, just yesterday. I sold a property yesterday, and as soon as I start going out the back and talking to people out the back, the vendor reserves the right at any given time before I put that hammer into this lectern to remove the property from market, to do a deal out of the market, to do a deal within those closed doors. It can happen, and I can tell you firsthand, on heart, it happened yesterday right on this floor. I was out the back and the man, well, it just happened. Let's just say it happened, and I had to go out to the crowd that was gathered and I said, it's sold. So they don't have to declare anything, reserve price, you name it. So if I do disappear out the back and you do want to have a real good, genuine stab at it, yell at me before I get out the back. People, if a dispute does occur, what I'll do is I'll just put the property up at the last undisputed bid. I'll look over at Sue and see where the bid came from. I'll itemise where the bids are, so at any point people will know where I'm doing and you'll know where the bid is on the floor. People, at the fall of the hammer, and if you are the successful purchaser, you'll pay to us 10% of the purchase price. Complete a GST schedule if you deem fit. The property has been sold inclusive of GST, and I've just finished at the bottom of the page. There we go. Well, goodness me. All good? You'll note on the television screen up behind my head here the true location of a property, and it's quite interesting when people talk of property within the Wachtat Basin or within any market for that matter. They always say that there's three things in real estate you should consider: location, location, and location. I think that's about 50% right. I think the other 50% of that equation is something with T, and I call it timing, timing, and timing. And I think we've got both of those packaged up into 38B Boys Crescent quite nicely. First time this property's been on the market, some 30 years under the current owner. Wonderful memories. It's an emotional time for the family. But they've decided it's time to move it on to the next chapter of its life. And when you look at it, jeepers creepers, when I got the call up, well, you could understand my excitement and exuberance around such an area. You could call that the quiet cul-de-sac. That's not a through road. When I did the video, I was standing out over here, and I was looking back. I don't know if you watched the video on, but the chap that was taking the video said, "Oh my goodness, how often do these come to the market?" And I said, "Not very often, like this." And he goes, "Holy moly." But when you look at the proportions of the property, back in the day of the 80s when things were built, they built the right proportions. We see a lot of new homes and subdivisions without knocking them, but they don't have proportion. In the 80s, the architect, certainly Murray Coburn, had proportions. 3 generous sized bedrooms, good sized bathrooms, good living, outlook, the lights, the skylights in the right place. They've thought about it. And it's very interesting when I've spoken to parties that have been interested in the property that the estate or the owners of Unit A next door are going to take charge of relocating the garaging, swapping those garages over that I've spoken about. There's a clause that exists here. I'm more than happy to read you that clause just so everybody is up to speed with that. And it's there, and if anything, they're going to be better than what they are at the cost of the unit next door. Would you like me to read that clause to you? Everyone seen the clause? We don't need to read it then. You're all familiar with what I'm doing. Basically swapping the middle, it's going like this with the garages, and they'll be upgraded as a result. There you have it, folks. On all the walking trails, the cycling trails, the lake. I was joking with someone the other day, and I said, well, if you tripped over, you'd be in the lake. and literally it's right there. You know, for young families with the kayaks and the things, chain them to a tree down there and make your memories yourselves. That big yunker, jeepers, that fire, the owners of the property on the open homes went in there, and I'd had the old windset jockey on underneath, what do you call it, the thermal underwear on, to start my run on the open homes. I went in there and I had to take everything just pretty much off. It was very, very toasty warm. And of course the heat pumps just to take the chill off also. You'll note where the dining room table is, it was noted to me as a Constor heater. And I was in there this morning with folk, and the old Constor heater just releasing that energy that it had saved up overnight and releasing that through the hours of the daylight. So there you go, folks. Are there any questions? No questions? Well, I'm going to say good luck. Fortunately, I've only got one set of keys. Yes. Just a moment. Yes. They call this the business end. 38B Boys Crescent. Would someone like to start me away with an opening bid or offer for this wonderful residence on the lake in Frankton? You can start me where you like, folks. Well, they say Coronet Peak's got a full capacity crowd today, if that helps. Queenstown's still booming. Would someone like to start me away? An opening bid or offer? What happens if there's no bidding here today, folks? What I do is we'll just pass it in, and I won't do anything. I'll just pass it in, and then people normally have a fight over a closed envelope system. And it's horrible because someone always misses out, but at least if you've given it your best shot, you know you've given it your best shot. Would someone start away at, say, $8.50? $8.50 for that sort of establishment there on the lake. 38B Boys Crescent, opening bid if you like at $8.50. Yep, $8.50 on the telephone on the left-hand side over there. I tell you what, look, if you've got time to sit and listen to me, why don't we move in $10,000 advances and see what happens? $8.60 if you like. There at $150,000 with a telephone bidder there, and we'll move in tens, so that's easy numbers to consider. $8.60 the next bid if you like. Bidding over yonder here at $850 on behalf of the vendors now. The vendors told me what to do. $8.60 and the bidding's on behalf of the vendor sitting left, so that's there, it goes there at $8.60, $8.70 if you like. Bidding there at $8.60, $8.70 if you like. Wonderful opportunity to be having a crack at these sort of locations, folks. Bidding here on behalf of the vendors with them at $8.60, $8.70 if you like. $8.70 on the telephone, bid against everyone on the floor here. $8.70 on the telephone, left-hand side of the room at $8.70, $8.80 if you like. $8.70, $8.80 if you like, folks. Oh, that was the YouTube coming through. $8.70 over yonder. Well, with the vendors, folks, again, they gave me the explicit instructions. I can see the instruction there at $8.80. Bidding here at $8.80 with the vendors. Bidding away at $8.80, $8.90 if you like. Bidding here $8.80 with the vendors. $8.90 if you like. Not too late to have a stab at these properties and these locations. Jeepers creepers. $8.80 with the vendor. $8.90 if you like. Oh well. It's hard when there's people on the telephones. $8.80, sir. $8.90 if you like. Telephone over there. $8.90 if you like. offering the 890 to the floor. Not too late to come in. I can't be selling it at those numbers, folks. I assure you of that. Could you just play a wee bit of music for me, Poppy? I'm going to leave the floor at 880. I'm going to jump out the back over here. For your patience, folks, I left the floor at 880 and I was calling for further bids. I have members of the estate here in the office just over to my left. So I've been having a chat with folk. The vendor bid was with me at 880, so there's no one on the floor that's going to take precedent over that, unless you want to bid me 890 if you like. Bidding with me at 880. It's a vendor bid, sir. 890, sir. 890, and good luck with your bidding. At 890,000, you've heard the instructions from the gentleman down just to the left of me here. At 890,900, if you like. This is a wonderful opportunity, folks, to be getting into this Frankton area, which is so tightly held and coveted by long-term owners, folks. Jeepers creepers, 30-odd years in the making with this particular property. Hit 890,900 if you like. Bidding away here at 890,900 if you like.
No. Would you take 895 auctioneer or not?
Well, 5 if it 895. I would prefer the 10. I can't say 10. I can't say 900. You're saying? I'm sorry, folks. Thanks for your patience. I can see it's hard when I can't see the people. 895. And I'll extend that $5,000 courtesy to the floor. 895 on the telephone, another 5,000 round me up to 900 if you like. It's what I was saying just a little bit earlier, 900,000 if you like. It's a wonderful opportunity to get into this beautiful location. Crikey dicks. 895 the bid, looking for 9 on the rise.
It's outside then?
It's on the telephone on the left, sir. Absolutely. 895 the bid. 900 if you like. If I start disappearing out the back, folks, I don't know what could happen. So I'm just saying to you, I'm going to warn you again. Anything can happen before the fall of the hammer. At 895,000 the bid, 900 if you like. 900,000, and good luck with the bidding, sir. At 900,000 against the telephone bid at this stage. 900,000 bid with you, sir. Any further advance at 900, 910 if you like. At 900,000, the bidding away there, 910 if you like. Rise on up to 10. Hit 900,000, ladies and gentlemen. Any further advance at 900? $905,000. Again, I'll extend that $5,000 courtesy to anyone else who's here also. Bidding at $905,000 now. Any further advance at $905,000? 10 if you like. $905,000. Bids against the floor. Telephone bid on the left. 910 if you like. Or higher if you like. Don't listen to me. You don't have to listen to me. Bidding there, 905. 910,000 if you like. Just tally ho, people. I'm just going to pop out the back at 905 and speak with the vendors. Play a wee bit of music, could you? 120,000 the bid on the telephone on the to have a stab. This, as I say, I just think this is dress circle, tightly held at 920. I'm going to disappear again. Stand by. They say there can only be one owner, and at this point in time I can tell you that there will be one owner here today. The property is on the market. I'll sell away now to the highest bidder. The bidding on the telephone on the left of the floor was 920. Any further advance, this is the time to do it, folks. What I'll do is I'll pick up the hammer, and we're at the business end. Fortunately, I only have one of these properties. 920,000 we sell away, folks, at 920 unless there's any further bids at 920,000. 920,000 on the telephone over, what are you saying, sir, 25? 925 the bid against the telephone bidder at 925 down here. And good luck with this end of it, sir, at 925,000 the bid. Any further advance at this point in time? Thank you for your courtesy with the telephone. You can hear them going 925. 925, you'll hear them yarning away. Any further advance at that level, folks? 925,000 the bid. Here comes the hammer at 925. This is my first call at 925,000. My second call at 925,000, sir. This will be my third and my final call at $925,000. I'm selling. Congratulations. Well done. Thank you so much for your patience. And we trust that you do fulfil your real estate dreams here within the Wakatipu Basin. Thanks for coming.